welcome to Breakfast Central. It is definitely another day. It's a hump day, like they love to call it, on a Wednesday. But for us here, it's midweek, as we rightly put it, in the Nigerian and, of course, the workforce context. Welcome to another splendid edition of Nigeria's numero uno brightest breakfast show on television. Whether you like it or not, whatever dialect language in which you want to describe it, what we're saying, welcome. We seem to be ready for today's edition because it is well packed. By the way, I might be looking like a learned colleague, but I am not. I'm just a broadcast journalist. But someone is looking like a learned colleague as well. I don't know if he peeped through the window to say, what's Joe putting on, man? Let's make it work. But like they say, great minds think alike. Ladies and gentlemen, please, I want to welcome you to the show as I introduce a journalist of international repute, one who is dark, sharp, pristine, and I could say his name is Gbenga. If he were from Kenya, they would say Borowa, but he's Gbenga Borowa. How are you, my brother?
What a fantastic introduction, Joe. I'm good, and I think the reverse is the case. I got to work before you, so you peeped me, you copied me.
Really?
Yes, and I'm not looking dark.
Oh, somebody peeped too, but she decided to change
She's matching us with the pants.
You know, she said, let me
what's going on this morning?
Let me do a blue. You're wearing the black pants, white. I mean, you got the white. You're almost there.
Okay,
almost.
I look like FBI agent. He looks like lost to the 200 level.
Actually, you're the one that looks like a 200 level.
This is what they wear.
I promise you.
How about you?
But no, I don't.
First of all, as a lawyer, he won't wear this tie. He will hardly wear this kind of.
So it has to be plain.
Yeah. It has to be plain. Polka dots are not allowed.
You look like a jambite. You just got into school.
Jambito.
I'm trying to ask, please, where's the faculty office? Please, you don't go there. Drop your file there, I'm eating. And then she's throwing granite.
Boop.
Drop your file.
She said, come up, says you go and buy me.
I'm sure it still happens.
It's
in private university.
No, maybe to a certain extent. Yeah. But it's good to be here. Welcome to Breakfast Central. You know the drill. We bring you all the news, the interesting analysis. We break down everything for you that you need to know on the news and current affairs in the country. I am Gbenga Borowa. Welcome to the program.
And when you said you know the drill, I thought you were going to say Johnny Drill. But let's get into
it. It's too early, please.
It's too early in the morning.
It's too early in the morning.
Never too early for a dry joke. Good morning and welcome to Breakfast Central. It's always a pleasure. We consider it an immense honor that you choose to start your day with us, which is why we do everything within our power to make sure that we deliver excellence and quality to you, finding out what some of the biggest stories are. The past 24 hours has been full of drama. Some very mighty moves have been made. Some political moves we did not see coming this time last year. If anybody had told you that the one and only Siminalayi Fubara, gentlemen,
this is where we say, after the resumption, did it come to you as a surprise?
This is when we say, cue that song.
It feels like, it feels, when Ashake says, they never see this coming. Even Wike that you can say, okay, he's frolicking with the administration, he's in bed with the administration, neck deep. He still stayed in his PDP. But some others will say, at least you can respect Sim Fubara's honesty to say, you know what, I'm not going to do the two-faced thing. But it's really just interesting. At the end of the day, it reminds you that Nigerian politicians will always prioritize themselves. Always.
I mean, if you look at the South now,
it's an APC region. Everybody.
The South has been color-bead in our street dialect. For those who just join us who are not Nigerians, it has been
taken over
by the APC, and it's without gainsaying, you just know what 2027 is going to look like.
I mean, it's not a foregone
from regions to regions to regions. Again.
I mean, people would. I guess when we get to the crux of it, the analysis, then we can tell if this movement automatically translate to votes. If the people would also move to the ruling party, because it's different. And I guess we'll have to see what the dynamics are. But like you said, it's looking like a foregone conclusion.
Very foregone conclusion.
I think we should take this story properly as we start the show.
Let's tell reps that as we're taking the stories, they should head to YouTube and drop your comments.
Yeah.
We're talking about this. We want to see your comments. And as we wrap up Wake Up Conversations, we will go on YouTube to pick comments from the live chat. So please head to YouTube. News Central Live is where we're streaming. We want to see your comments and take them.
That's right. Before we go to that story that saw the man hold the microphone and say, Anya, you know that song. Let's start off with this one on our Wake Up Conversations on a Wednesday morning. The Senate has approved President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's request to deploy Nigerian troops to Benin Republic as part of a regional security effort aimed at strengthening border protection and addressing rising instability in the area. The decision came after a lengthy debate, with some lawmakers asking for clearer rules of engagement, while others stressed the importance of supporting a neighboring country whose security challenges could easily spill into Nigeria. But the approval has also raised a bigger, much bigger question at home. How well are we tackling our own banditry problems while preparing to send troops abroad? While some Nigerians feel internal security needs far more attention before any external commitment, others believe that regional cooperation is necessary to keep the wider environment stable and ultimately protect Nigeria in the long run. But let's take a look at this video, and then we'll come back and, of course, look at the story and what Nigerians are saying.
The Senate now confirmed the actions of Mr. President in the deployment of the Air Force and troops to Benin Republic to ensure peace mission and restore order and sanity in that country, thereby saving Nigerians from thousands and thousands of refugees and also saving Nigerian borders from unnecessary criminality and disruption of peace and stability. Those in support of the confirmation of the approval, say aye. Those against, say nay. The approval is hereby confirmed.
And the ayes have it.
So maybe what's
Thinking
happening?
out loud, have they ever had a vote that nays had it in this 10th assembly? Everything is
In a long time, we've not seen that.
Sometimes you even think the Jamaicans singing reggae music because everything is I and I.
I and I, man.
Yeah.
Man.
I thought you said it was Swahili.
Yes. No, but that's a factual issue. It's not a joke.
From my chair. Okay, so maybe there are two sides that we can see this from, right? We can see this from the fact that, yes, his action, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's action, would have required an approval from the Senate. So they are ratifying an action that he's already taken.
After the fact.
Yes, maybe because it happened too quickly. It was a coup.
Doctrine of necessity.
Yeah,
they had to deploy.
Yes, he had to quickly do that. It wasn't they couldn't gather an assembly to make that, so they're ratifying what he has had to do. Nigeria has established itself, as a regional authority when it comes to security issues by sending out the troops. But the criticism there is we also have our own troubles at home.
Domestic.
So if we're looking at our troubles at home and we're sending troops, aren't we stretching ourselves thin? But then again, the other angle to look at it from is Benin is really close to home.
Yeah.
So any issue that happens in Benin has a way of spilling over into the country, because what we would then see would be, we haven't finished catering to the internally displaced persons here in Nigeria. There are people that would then use that as an excuse to come into the country. It would in some way affect the country. So I don't think we can be completely removed from the challenges that Benin is facing.
I agree with you, but in the same vein, isn't our northern borders, we share a border with Niger, and they went through the same thing just last year. So what is good for the goose is good for the gander. Why didn't we deploy troops to dislodge the military government in Republic of Benin? Why in Niger? Why is it different with Benin?
So maybe, I'm not a government spokesperson, but in Benin or the Republic of Benin, the reason why they may not have done that is because everything took them by surprise as well. Benin had executed theirs before it came to limelight. I think there was some sense of knowing that they had a small window in which they could have acted with the Benin situation.
Then I think, the Niger situation was very complex too. Looking at northern Nigeria, the kinship between the Hausas in the north and the Hausas in Niger, it would have felt like brothers fighting brothers, and the dynamics were totally different.
Nigerians would have also,
the president
Nigerians and Nigerians would have
has withdrawn VIPs from security personnel from VIPs, is given a marching order to recruit 30,000 people into the Nigerian police. And this tells you that our security operatives are stretched thin. That means you should prioritize domestic security, where they say charity begins at home. So it means we have surplus that we can even decide to send to. We're not to Benin Republic. We're not the only ECOWAS country. Why can't Ghana and other
we're not just
countries?
any other ECOWAS country. We're an ECOWAS country that is, our president served as the chairman of ECOWAS,
Yes.
right? So we are, you can
Okay, we have the largest population in the ECOWAS bloc.
Yes.
And the giant of ECOWAS.
Giant of Africa. But anyway, let's see what Nigerians are saying.
Let's maintain ECOWAS
yes.
for now.
Giant of Africa, indeed, and that's exactly what we're showing. Nigerians are saying this. Spirit Man says, at a time when we need our troops on ground to fight terrorism, we're deploying them away. Misplaced priority, he says. Well, Spirit Man, that's how you feel, and that's your opinion. Let's see another one. Goblin, roll eye, reach back of head. Senate don't approve troops. Go Benin Republic. Go stabilize neighbor. Meanwhile, for Niger, bandits still they collect rent past state government. Oga Tinubu say, make we first secure next door before we secure our own backyard. Priority sweet die. Very soon, we go send Navy, go fight pirates for Ghana waters, while the Lagos boys, they swim with knife for third billion.
I mean, this Mr. Goblin Street reminds me of a song in the 1990s, Ironic by Alanis Morissette. Yes. Very ironic.
All right, let's see another one. Mazi Buka says, so we now have sufficient boots on ground that we can borrow to another country. Thought we were short of resources. What is the criteria for this approval? It's like having cancer and giving your chemotherapy drugs to your alcoholic friend. Ow, what's that? Anyway, Wala Digest says, well, it's great to know our Senate has their priorities straight. Our country is calm and peaceful. So, of course, sending troops to Benin is the most logical next step. Who needs to fix things at home when you can't be a hero abroad, right? Absolutely brilliant strategy.
It reminds me of this song. I don't know, I'm very musical today.
Yeah, this morning.
Is it Westlife that sang it? I can be your hero, baby.
You make a calm down, tell it, please. No, I can be.
Ollie, who sang that thing? Sorry, who sang that song?
Maybe you should make this sense. You can go away. But let's be honest. I just want to add this. You know, this situation is like, it's a case of you having your children in the house and they're screaming that they're hungry. And they're shouting, Mommy, I'm hungry. Daddy, I'm hungry. But you cook a nice meal, fried rice, you know, chicken, you garnish it with some small sauce, you know, splendid plantain dodo, that type ripe one, you know, because it's sumptuous. And then while your children are waiting, you just pack all the food and go outside of your house and go and give it to your neighbors and say, neighbors, come and eat.
Can I retweak that analogy? So your children are hungry, you've made food for them. It's not the best of food, but it's decent enough to satisfy hunger.
Okay.
But the portion you've made is not even enough for your children. But you've now decided, you know what, there's love in sharing. So I'll give you some, and I'll give our neighbors some. Because if our neighbors are hungry completely and you are hungry, they can come into this house and rob us. But just to keep the peace, I'll feed you and I'll feed them.
Fantastic. I like that version. And that's what the Senate President, Mr. Senator Godswill Akpabio, was saying, that, look, if you leave the situation to de-escalate into a crisis situation, that you have to deal with refugee problems, there will be insecurity in Benin Republic, and then we will have to deal with that mess. So we're being proactive.
Proactive in order to de-escalate.
In order to de-escalate.
Fight, you know.
but the underlying message again is to let the potential coup plotters in the future know that you cannot aspire to perspire when it comes to coup in Nigeria. So they're also sending a message that, look, we're sending air support, ground support, whatever we need to do. And if planning a coup is part of your agenda, then don't bring it to Nigeria or its environs.
Don't.
Even though the Sahel regions might find this as an overreach, as we can see.
I mean, and then 10 days ago, 11 days ago, Guinea-Bissau. So why didn't we see this action? Guinea-Bissau, is Guinea-Bissau not as important as...
The question again is
or maybe it's
there,
a proximity issue, but we discussed that with Niger.
Maybe another thing is there preferential treatment in who
maybe some coups are
lend
good,
support?
some coups are
We
not.
don't know.
All right,
But somebody's not happy. Somebody's not happy. Somebody's not happy.
Let's talk about...
No, somebody's not happy about sending soldiers to Benin Republic.
quite a lot of
out of
Nigerians
all who have spoken, former President Olusegun Obasanjo spoke briefly, but on other issues. And when we were expecting that, okay, maybe they will touch on this one, but somebody has come out to speak. And we're talking about Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka. Now, aside from criticizing the son to the president,
there were at least heavily armed, at least some 15 or so heavily armed to the teeth security personnel. Looked sufficient to take over a small country, neighboring city like Benin. And I think the next time the president should just call and say, Sheyi, go and quell the rebellion over there. I was so astonished that I started looking for the National Security Advisor. I said, track him down for me. I think they got him somewhere in Paris, but I was with the president. He was at a meeting. And I said, I've just seen something I can't believe, I don't understand. And I described the scene to him. I said, do you mean that a child of the head of state goes around with an army for his protection or whatever? I couldn't believe it. Later on, I did some investigative journalism. And I inquired, and I found that apparently this is how this young man goes around with his battalion, his heavy armed soldiers. Of course, the road was cleared before his car went out. I stayed until it seemed he was leaving. So next time there's an insurrection, I think the president should just call that young man and say, come on, put down those stupid people there. You have enough troops under your command, so don't bother me with all these security issues any longer. Let's not overdo things. This is not the first country that has a head of state. It's not the first country whose head of state has...
the Nobel laureate has spoken. So when next there's an insurrection, he has said, please send the son of the president, Sheyi Tinubu, to quell the insurrection or the issues there.
You know one thing I like about old age? When you are older, you say whatever is on your mind. You have nothing left to lose because it's like, at this age, what can you do to me?
Exactly.
Like you have the freedom to say whatever it is on your mind.
Really making sense, and it's very brave of him, I must say, because he's been getting a lot of criticism. People have been saying, oh, he's a supporter of President Tinubu, and for him to come out to say this in public shows that he has none to lose, like Olive said. And this is very reminiscent of what we've seen happen in African countries. Equatorial Guinea, for example, at least the son is the vice president.
Yeah.
So he's covered under the constitution, is entitled to a certain level of security. Also in Uganda, Muhoozi Kainerugaba. Yes, he's the chief of defense forces in Uganda. Given his military position, he's also a general, is entitled to a certain level of security, but the first son of Mr. President is not recognized. I mean, has the first family, there is a certain level of security cover. All members of the first family deserve, but from what Professor Soyinka described, it seems out of order. It must have really been a long and huge convoy, and I know how these things work, especially in Lagos. On taxpayers' money, I mean, does he have any official role apart from being the son of Mr. President? And these things, they send wrong signals there, especially looking at our present realities, with the president withdrawing VIPs from, withdrawing security personnel from VIPs and the hue and cry over how stretched our security personnel are. So we can do better, yes.
Okay, let's go on next and see what Nigerians are saying about this. And you can also tweet at us as well at News Central TV. But I Occupy Nigeria says, thank God Wole Soyinka don't finally find him voice again. But whether Tinubu will listen, the answer na clear no. The man they behave like Nigeria and a family estate where them inherit for will. Any advice we no align with in control instinct, no the enter, make we no deceive ourselves. That's what I Occupy Nigeria says. Imagine your son cruising with battalion level escort while the country they struggle with insecurity. Soyinka is simply saying what millions are thinking. Olaniyi says, if Tinubu decides to arrest him now, people will still complain. But honestly, speaking to the president in that manner makes no sense. It's disrespectful and brings disrepute. There are lines you don't cross, especially with the office of the president. Aliyu Issa Mohammed says, our next tweet, let's have all the tweets, please. So Prof can talk now when it comes to another country, but couldn't talk about the problem in his own country. Anyway, Benin is small to Nigeria, and Nigeria is equally small to some other countries. Tinubu took a stand on invading another country due to their internal crisis. But Nigerians were shouting when Trump was concerned about Nigeria. Even when Nigeria was ruled by the military for years, no country invaded it because of its sovereignty. They only used sanctions, but I guess we've set another precedent in Africa. So Nigeria should just get everything right from now on, because the next mistake can be different, Jolson says. Chena Bible say you won't go share for coup plotters. Waiting ancient one the rap. Hey, gosh, people don't have respect.
The Bible reference is from his birthday, okay.
I'm not entertained at all. Is Sheyi Tinubu the chief of staff? Professor Wole Soyinka should just acknowledge that Tinubu is incompetent. They should stop wasting everybody's time. Christopher Iheme says.
Yeah, and a bit of fact checking to do, because that young man that said Nigeria invaded, Nigeria did not invade the Republic of Benin. No. Nigeria intervened on the request of the government of the Republic of Benin. So it wasn't, it wasn't a unilateral action. We didn't go in all guns are blazing
and boots,
or jets are flying.
On ground. Boots are going to be on ground now.
Yeah, boots will.
On the request of the government.
On the request of the government.
But wait. Do we have problem here in Nigeria?
We have enough.
Do we have militants,
good brotherly insurgents? You cannot go to sleep if your neighbor's house is on fire. And
but
that's
your own
what's
house is burning now.
We're also trying to prevent it on all fronts.
Okay.
It's a hydra-headed monster affecting the continent, and when we see ourselves.
Okay, I guess. I'm trying to understand.
Let's go to our third story. Now, this is a very interesting one. The dancing Governor Adeleke, has officially joined the Accord Party, a move coming just days after his widely discussed encounter with the First Lady during her coronation event, where she openly interrupted him and cautioned him in front of guests. The moment that sparked intense debates across the state. We did talk about this here on the show as well. Now, since that incident, political observers say that there has been noticeable tension and speculation about whether the governor felt sidelined or embarrassed, and whether that public exchange played any role in accelerating his decision to leave his former party. Adeleke, while not directly linking the two events, told supporters that his switch to Accord is about finding a platform that aligns with his goals and gives him room to operate without distractions. Now, with his defection confirmed, conversations are shifting to what this means for Osun's political landscape, the alliances he may build next, and how the fallout from the First Lady episode continues to shape the narrative around his political future. You can see the press release that he put out there officially announcing.
And that's Government House in Oshogbo. You can see the Accord Party flags flying high.
Flying high.
In the middle of the Nigerian flag.
PDP in sight.
No PDP flag in sight.
It's even in
all things have passed
all
away.
Things are gone.
Are gone.
New things.
This is a new dispensation, Accord.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Governor.
Well, let's see the video.
Jackson.
Let's see the video. Let's see the video.
That today, Osun State is Accord. First, I will urge you not to use it and very business. Mark it, circulate it, dance with it.
And there you have it. Governor Adeleke is now in the Accord Party. There have been deliberations about where he stands regarding the next election. You know that his administration has not been without its own challenges, especially within the past months. There had been speculations of defections. It's just that people did not think of Accord. Now, Accord does not have as much influence in the state as the other political parties. But one would now think that maybe the fact that the governor has now joined the state will bring some measure of influence in that regard to the party, and we do not know what that will mean for his political future and his aspirations to run for a second term, and if he would be able to clinch that.
We had one of his special advisors last week, and it was very cocky to say that if the governor defected 24 hours to an election, he would emerge victorious. That's the level of confidence he has. And as executive governor of the state, I believe the elections are next year.
2026.
Yes,
Yeah.
so there's enough time for people to get with the program, familiarize themselves with the logo and the name of Accord Party, and he also has a power of incumbency. So things might just go well for him. And another implication of this is that his famous nephew, David Adeleke, who's been a staunch supporter of the PDP, might have to move to Accord
Now
Party.
that you mentioned that,
He may necessarily not have to move.
He will have to support his own cause.
Although
No, not move. He's not even a
he's not a
politician.
member
not a
of.
politician.
He's not a member of any party.
Now that you
He has
mentioned that,
he has
that's
a
a,
responsibility in the
support.
party.
that's a very important thing that you've mentioned, but not just looking at Davido, but looking at the members of the political party. You know that when it comes to the hierarchy of leadership in politics, it's not just about the person at the top, his followers as well, his grassroots. We've seen in other states where the governor moved and mandated the members of his cabinet to move with him to the party. Will he do the same? 1, 2. Even if he does the same, will the members of his cabinet move along with him to the Accord Party? 3. Will the public interpret this as a necessary move or as a betrayal of the trust that they have, given to him? We know that currently, as it runs, it is not necessarily people that win political positions. It is parties that win political positions. So whether or not this was a wise decision to make, I guess we'll find out at the point.
You guys have spoken, you've turned the soup, but the pomo and the shaki, you have not brought it out.
Tell us, bring it out.
The pomo there is that, have you wondered why the governor did not move to the APC? Well,
there's no space
that
in the
there
APC.
There was pressure, so much pressure, but the governor said, "Mba, I will not go there."
We had a guest on this show that said he wasn't welcome in the APC.
Yeah, until
we asked him,
and the Minister of the
who.
Blue Economy, the immediate past governor of Osun State, is an active member of the APC. So, and they're at loggerheads. So there's no space.
You brought
no
out another
vacancy.
meat out of it again.
Yes.
There cannot be two captains in a
political,
ship.
internal political crisis that's been going on there. There's a lot going on in that state. And we do hope that maybe the people of Osun State will be able to breathe or heave a sigh of relief when they eventually move. But let's see reactions from Nigerians, most importantly, before we move on the show. This one is coming from B Max Legal. It says, this is a significant political shift in Osun State. Governor Adeleke's move from PDP to Accord could reshape alliances and voter dynamics, signaling possible strategic positioning ahead of upcoming elections. Okay, it's all about strategy. That's what you're saying. Oladele says, Governor Ademola Adeleke of Osun State has just defected from PDP to Accord Party. We know. How does he plan to survive and win the 2026 governorship election against a powerful APC machine, especially now that ADC is also coming strong and will likely split the opposition votes? Is the governor really thinking this through, or is he jumping into a very risky move that might cost him everything? Guys, please help me understand this. Well, we're going to do that, and we're trying to do that as well here. Dear His Excellency, Osun State should have places that can showcase your works in the state, but you seem to not have none or such worthy or gracing your graphical image of Accord campaign. Sir, I hope you would not dance your way out of Osun State. How soon?
So no proof of meaningful development. Okay, so we have one.
Olamide Miriam says, Osun people, especially civil servants, knew what they went through in the hands of APC administration before Governor Ademola Adeleke. They went through real hunger, stagnant in-job position, no promotion, half salaries and huge debt. Many people died, plus no new employment. That's what Olamide Miriam says. And finally, Olalexis says, bro is going sideways while everyone is joining a winning team. And he's talking about the APC.
Yeah.
Well, don't forget too that in PDP in Akwa Ibom State, the governor had said, now that he's moving, everybody in the cabinet should move. Some decided to wear the new APC shirt and jump into the moving wagon with him. But as soon as they heard that PDP was having a convention, they jumped out and went to enjoy the convention. But unfortunately, he spotted them in videos. And
Now that you mentioned,
when they were trying to come back, he said, you get
so
out.
they are punitive measures.
I saw you, get out.
you betrayer. But
I saw
just
you.
to mention, Joe, now that you mentioned the PDP, I think this also leaves a huge dent on the reputation of the PDP. PDP has been through turbulent times very recently, and for a sitting governor of your party to leave the party and move to a party that's not as influential as yours, that adds to the reputational damages that PDP has to manage and some of the challenges that they have to deal with. So this will redefine what 2026 elections will look like. It would then say it's not the typical two-party election that we would have, APC versus PDP. Governor Adeleke could be the wild card that Osun State will be bringing from the Accord Party. Now, yes, we know that it is political parties, not persons, that win elections. But we saw in the 2023 elections in Nigeria, the one that many people didn't see coming, the influence that the Labour Party brought as a result of Peter Obi being at the front burner of the party. Maybe we might see another replication of that with Governor Adeleke if he's able to convince his followers, his supporters, members of his cabinet that Accord is the place to be. And especially if the citizens are convinced that he did a good job in his first tenure, then it will be easier to convince them that Accord is where it is. 2026, I guess we will see what the next steps are. But then again, people must realize that politicians will always do what is good for them first before they think about
Before we call on the headlines, we're calling for the headlines right now. But there's a big one.
What is?
That they want the red biro. That's what they are coming for. We're saving that one for next. If the viewers understand what we're saying, they want
talking
the
about
red
real
biro.
estate, yes.
Is what they are coming for.
But
similar life for Barra.
just to quickly mention that Ikechukwu Victory says Mr. Wole is complaining. I think he's referring to one of the tweets. Mr. Wole is complaining because huge security of Sheyi obstructed movement of his car. That's why he's crying. He has remained silent concerning the incompetence of his friend Tinubu. You know, touch everyone. He's talking about the Nobel laureate Wole Soyinka's statement. And then Tim Onwubiko says the Nigerian Senate is horrible. How can the Senate not debate something as important as sending troops to another, something capable of starting an all-out war? Anyway, please let us know what your thoughts are. Go on YouTube or streaming live and drop your chats. Now, let's show you what the headlines are this morning on Breakfast Central. Top stories this morning. River State Governor Siminalayi Fubara dumps PDP and defects to APC. Wike faction to hold convention. They are planning to take over the PDP in full. We'll be looking at the impact of conflicting rulings on Nigeria's judiciary. We've seen that happen over and again. Senate probes FS, WAEC guidelines in new resolution. And we'll be bringing the newspaper front pages to you this morning. Join us for all these and more on Breakfast Central.